Howdy folks, I'm Scoryth, the Crimson Renegade, and welcome to Kingdom Hearts. This is the actual very first game of the Kingdom Hearts series. This is Kingdom Hearts, this is number 1. I had a slide in my head. Hold on a second, let me turn the volume down just a second. It's just volume in my head, don't worry you guys. You guys aren't going to notice a difference. But it's just a little loud in my head right now. Sound coming through these earphones are really loud. So anyway. This is the first game. This is what started the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise. As I may have explained, I've already explained. I may have explained this in Birth by Sleep, but in case I didn't, this is part of a series of games. Obviously, everybody knows it. And for those who may be new to my channel or new to the way I do things, or for whatever reason you may not be familiar with this, I play video game series to the best of my ability in chronological order. What are we doing here? Okay, Okay. I'm gonna pull up the screen here, that way it doesn't go to the teaser screen. I play games games with like a series of games in chronological story order. And I have Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 Remix, which is the HD Remix for the PlayStation 4, and also Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Remix for the PlayStation 4, which is all HD stuff, which includes final mixes of every game that had it, which is Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Birth by Sleep. Those are the only 3 games that had final mix versions. Anyway, I'll go into what the final mix stuff is a little bit later in the episode. Anyway. As far as the chronological storyline order of the games go, if you look on my channel, you'll notice that Birth by Sleep was uploaded first, or should already be uploaded by the time this video comes out. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep was the first game in the series that I have access to. There are games that came out before chronologically before Birth by Sleep, but I don't have those actual games. I won't be playing any of the games. I'll only be playing the games in those series, in those HD versions that I mentioned, and only the actual games. Some of the games in the remix versions for the PlayStation 4 are not actually games. They're just the cutscenes of the games, kind of all strung together in one long movie. I'm not going to be showing those on my channel because it's not a game. It's not really worth showing. I'm sure someone has probably uploaded that somewhere on the internet. Somewhere on YouTube, whatever. Feel free to go look for those if you want. I'm not going to do that because it's nothing for me to really comment on or play. But in chronological story order of the games that I will be playing for my channel, Birth by Sleep was first, and it's already up on my it's already uploaded. The next one in the series is Kingdom Hearts 1. Just this game right here, Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, for those of you who may be curious, the game called Kingdom Hearts 358/2 Days, that game is running in parallel to the events of Kingdom Hearts 1, just in case you're curious. There's a wiki page that I pulled up that actually shows the actual games, how they would place in the chronological story order of the series. And from what I read, 358/2 Days will run concurrently with the events of Kingdom Hearts 1. Now, 358/2 Days, unfortunately, is one of the games that is cinematic only, so I will not be showing that game on my channel. But I will be doing Kingdom Hearts 1, obviously, and I think that's enough of an intro. Let's get started with Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Select game difficulty level. Begin with rare items in easy mode. A balanced mode recommended for first timers. Encounter tough enemies for thrilling battles. I have played Kingdom Hearts before several times, but I played it on the PlayStation 2, and back when I played it, while I'm gonna say my gaming skills have improved since way back then, they're still not. They were bad enough back then that I needed cheat codes to actually get through the game successfully. That's how bad I was, really. I had a hard time playing the game without cheats because I was just that bad at games. Now, I'm going to say I'm a little bit better, so I don't need cheats, obviously, but I'm not comfortable enough with playing this game on a harder difficulty. So I am going to go with Final Mix Beginner. Begin with rare items in easy mode. I'm going to say I'm at least 90% familiar with the game and the mechanics and secrets and stuff. So this will be mostly a step-by-step walkthrough, but not as deep of a walkthrough as a game I am truly familiar with, like Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy X. I'm very familiar with those two games, so those are step-by-step detailed walkthroughs, at least as detailed as I could get from my own memory. I try not to use too many notes if I can keep from it. But this game is going to be kind of blind, kind of a walkthrough, but not as detailed a walkthrough as I would normally do if I was fully familiar with it. Also, as far as what I will be doing in this series, there are optional bosses that you can fight in this game, optional super bosses, like they do in many Squaresoft games, or many RPGs in general. I may show you how to get to them, but I'm probably not going to fight them because they're going to be too difficult for me to handle. Because while... Excuse me, I got something like flying right in the corner of my eye and I just can't see it. In Kingdom Hearts, your level, grinding to level 99, the difference between level 1 and level 99, which is obviously level cap, isn't really that huge of difference. It's not like in some RPGs where level 1 and level 99, your stats are, hugely different. In this game, it's not really that huge of a difference, so grinding up to 99 just to take on the optional super bosses wouldn't be really that difficult, but it also really wouldn't make that much of a difference. These optional super bosses are best battled with proper strategies and timing and a lot of luck sometimes too. So I will likely not be actually fighting these optional super bosses. I'll get to them when I get to them. I'll show them where to find them and who they are, and maybe some loose strategy on how to fight them, and maybe give it a try. But I'm probably not going to be fighting them. As far as I'm aware, there are 5 optional super bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1 with the Final Mix version. Let me go ahead and get to what Final Mix is. In the original Kingdom Hearts 1 version for the PlayStation 2, okay, let me say it like this. There are 2 versions of Kingdom Hearts 1 and some of the other games like I mentioned, Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep. The original version of Kingdom Hearts and what they call Final Mix. The difference between the two is mostly in Final Mix, they added some stuff. That's just the shorthand of it. To kind of, if you're familiar with this comparison, I'll compare it to Final Fantasy X. The original PlayStation 2 version of Final Fantasy X had 2 different versions. You had, at least in the U.S., well, okay, there are several different versions, but the U.S. actually only had one version. It was just the original U.S. PlayStation 2 version. But there was another one that was released later internationally that was called Final Fantasy X International. And the difference was, even though that wasn't released in the U.S., the difference was they added some things for Final Fantasy X in the international version. I'm going to mention some things that are in Final Fantasy X that if you're not familiar with it, you're not going to understand, but it's okay. You'll find out what they are when I get to them in my playthrough of Final Fantasy X. But the extra things that were added in Final Fantasy X International were the Dark Aeons, a different sphere grid, and a few other things, some extra skills, items of that sort. Well, those were only available in the international version. The original Final Fantasy X version did not have many of those items. Well, the HD version of Final Fantasy X did include that international content. The same thing is true here with the HD version of Kingdom Hearts. The HD version of Kingdom Hearts includes the Final Mix version of the Kingdom Hearts content, which includes all the stuff from the Final Mix version that was released only in Japan, maybe like an international kind of thing. The Final Mix, as far as I know, was never released in the US officially. So the Final Mix stuff is going to include some optional stuff, and some of that Final Mix stuff is going to be, at least that I know of, at least one of the optional super bosses that are in Final Mix that was not in the original version of Kingdom Hearts 1 in the US. So all the HD versions that I'll be playing will be the Final Mix versions, which includes extra content. That's just the shorthand. Again, the shorthand of it. So with that being said, I'm going to show as much. I'm going to obviously show the entire main story, and I'm going to show as much as I can of side quests, gathering items, I'm going to show as much as I possibly can. Hopefully, actually try to fight the optional super bosses. If I can't, then I can't. You know, I'm not good enough with them. But we'll see. But enough for talking. Let's get started with Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Beginner. Select camera. I'd rather manually rotate the camera using the right stick. Yeah, I don't know. Automatically rotate the camera in the field. I don't like that idea. Settings can be changed anytime in config. Okay, that's good. So I'll go ahead and go manual rotation. I don't want any vibration because it wears down the battery on my controller too much. Final Mix beginner. Yes. And here we go with Kingdom Hearts. This is the first game. This is the Kingdom Hearts. This is what started the epic series. I'll kind of shush here and let you guys enjoy the intro. It's a really cool intro. I will say though, the music, the reason you don't hear any sounds is because there's music here that's going to be copyrighted. So I've muted the audio for this intro. So I apologize for that. Most of the rest of the music will probably be fine. Just will probably stay in because I don't think I can turn it off.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately.
But the intro music is going to be muted here.
Like, is any of this for real or not?
Okay, here's where here's the start of the video that's gotten muted because there's music starting. It's going to be easily copyrighted, so I'm just trying to avoid that problem. I don't think I can turn the music off to this game, but that's okay because usually RPGs, which this essentially is an RPG, I usually like leaving the music on. That's usually the only exception, is RPGs will usually leave the music on for it. Now, while this might be a walkthrough, I am going to be as spoiler-free as possible, and please keep the spoilers to a minimum in the comments, if you would, please. Because just on the off chance nobody may have seen this game before. I mean, it's a very popular game, so it's highly unlikely, but still, please be spoiler-free if you can, if you would, please. And that's what I try to do in every game that I play, whether I'm familiar with it or not, is I try to avoid spoilers. Another the kid, and then they both fall together, and okay, something looked a little bit different there. Maybe it's just been a long time since I've played. It seemed a little bit different than what I remember, and that little bit of intro there. I recognize Snow White there. Did he just do a fourth wall break there? One thing I really... Door is still shut. Now, step forward. Can you do it? One thing I really like about this... not this HD version, is it's in 60 frames per second, which is unbelievably good. I love games that run in 60 frames per second, especially if it's an older game that I've played before. Okay, I need to look up some notes real quick, so give me just a moment here, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that break. I wanted to pull up some notes. I wanted to make sure that you get some a little bit tiny spoilers here. You get some options very soon here. This is a tutorial area, by the way. You kind of tell because it said, you know, use the controller using the stick. But this is kind of a tutorial area. In a little bit, you get some choices that'll actually affect how the game plays a little bit later on. Kind of a difficulty level option, sort of, but more like just how character progression works. I'll go into all the detail in just a minute. But I wanted to make sure I had all my information right, because I do want to go ahead and give you guys some information about this opening part. But anyway, let's go ahead and, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, you can move slowly by just holding stick closed, or you can go full speed, walk into the light, and then there we go. Now, the gameplay is in 60 frames per second, but the cutscenes, you can see, are a little bit slower. It's a little bit, not quite as smooth, so the cutscenes are 30 frames per second. But the gameplay is actually 60. Choose well. Okay. As we look around here, as you can see, press circle to jump. Alright. So depending on how long you hold the circle button will dictate how long how high a jump he makes. So you just tap it, he jumps very little. You hold it down, obviously he jumps higher. Now it's kind of obvious. Okay, what we're looking at here, as you can see, there are 3 items surrounding us. There's a sword in front of us, a shield to our left, and a staff to our right. This should be pretty easy to explain, but just in case you're not sure, I'm going to go ahead and explain it anyway. What's going to happen here is you're going to be this is going to be choosing your strength here. As you can see, each one of these will relate to a different stat that this main character has. It's not spoilers, just the main character. Duh, it's not spoilers. The sword obviously represents the strength stat. The shield obviously represents the defense stat. And the staff represents, obviously, your magic stat, which pretty much, that's all the stats there is to this game. It's a game kind of targeted toward kids a little bit. So they're not going to make it a complex system with a lot of different stats you've got to keep aware of and things of that sort. It's really just magic, defense, and attack. Those are your stats. There's no speed stat. There's no agility stat or anything of that sort. No dexterity. No magic defense stat or anything like that. Everything is all tied to just pretty much those 3. You'll get 2 options here. The first one is to pick which one of these 3 is going to be your strength. In other words, so if you pick the sword, your strength stat is going to be your highest stat. If you pick the shield, your defense stat is going to be your highest stat. And if you pick the staff, obviously your magic stat is going to be your highest stat. So what I'm going to do, let's see. I actually want, because I'm pretty sure I can handle the game just fine as it is. I do want my defense stat to be my highest stat. So I'm going to actually pick the shield as my strength. So I'm going to choose the shield.